Into the quarterfinals we go. 2-2 on the night. Took a bit longer than we wanted it to, of course, but nevertheless, we're in the quarterfinal. Leeds at home beckons in the FA Cup. A really interesting game. I thought there was a lot of good performances, a couple of not so good ones, but all in all, pretty decent. We got through it on the night pretty much unscathed, you'd like to think. I mean, 7 changes was never going to be an easy ride against a Brentford team that didn't rotate at all, but we really did look like we could keep up with them. And they didn't make any changes. That was a first team for them. We made 7 changes, and we didn't look out of place. We didn't look out of place in the slightest. It looked like it was 2 first teams playing against each other. So we can't complain with that at all. The one thing we can complain with though, and we'll get onto the later part of the game in a bit, but another set piece goal conceded. We've really got to stop that. We've got to do something about that, because we've got big players and we're not actually bad at attacking set pieces either. When we put balls in, we look dangerous going forward. So you'd think that we'd be half sensible at defending set pieces, but we're diabolical. I don't know whether it's just teams being good at set pieces. Brentford typically are, but nevertheless, we are so bad. Every corner that comes in looks like it's going to cause us serious trouble. Serious trouble. And most of the time it does cause us serious trouble, to be honest. It's not good. We need to sort that out. We really do. I do think we were lucky to not give away a penalty. That Fernandes one on Sharda, that did seem potentially like a penalty. They were saying that it was because he touched the ball. He barely touched the ball. I mean, Glenn Hoddle was saying at half time that he didn't touch the ball, but who cares what he is saying. If he did touch the ball, he barely touched it. So I do think that we got off a little bit lucky there. But then the actual penalty that they were given, where Summerville, I can't remember who it was on, but Summerville, I thought that was very soft. Very soft. I'm really not sure that that sort of thing should be given. I think that opens floodgates to some seriously dangerous kind of penalties given in the future. I'm not really a fan of that. I think that one was soft, but maybe it evens out with the fact that the Fernandes one, which I think could have been given, was potentially a penalty. On to kind of players now, and I guess Areola had a good game. Obviously, in the shootout, pretty decent there. I thought Walker-Peters had an okay game, not like unbelievable. He didn't do anything particularly special. Thought he was relatively solid. The 2 centre-backs, Disasi, just a joke. Again, Mavropanos had a pretty good game. Ollie Scholes, he struggled a little bit, I thought, and he often does. I think he can be quite hot and cold, Ollie Scholes. Sometimes you'll watch, and within one game, I mean, sometimes you'll watch him and you'll think, yeah, there's a player in there. Like, he looks good going forward. He's got a good delivery quite a lot, and he applies himself defensively. Like, you'll never see him not trying or not focused. I'm just not sure that he's quite the level we need. He is still young, of course, so I'm not saying like he's rubbish or anything, but I don't think he had his best performance, I will say that. Centre midfielders were good. Souček just doing what Souček does. Again, not an unbelievable performance from him, but just doing what he does. Fernandes pretty much run the game while he was on the pitch. Again, as he so often does, he's just a joke of a footballer. An absolutely ridiculous footballer. And I think even if we stay up, we'll do very well to hold on to him. He's a better level than us. You can see him just getting like a PSG move out of nowhere, can't you? That's exactly the type of move that I'd expect, like a 90 million, or maybe less than that, maybe a 70 million to PSG at some point in his career. Just looks so likely. He is so good. And then Kante, I thought that he was really impressive. He looked very good on the ball. He looked pretty assured. He looked pretty controlled when he had the ball. I was quite impressed with him. I thought he had a very good game. He looks like he could turn into quite a useful player for us, not going to lie. I thought Traore wasn't bad either. Obviously, he won the pen, which he didn't do a lot for. It wasn't particularly him doing much that won it, but I did think he looked quite dangerous. There was a couple of times when he broke a tackle and got into some space and moved forward pretty quickly with the ball, as we know he does. That is kind of his strength. So I thought he was good. Pablo, I'm such a huge fan of Pablo. A massive fan. Again, it's the mentality, it's the application more than anything. On the ball, he is quite good, but he will hold the ball up. He will put himself about, and he can be really good in that sense. Bowen with an unbelievable performance. It's absolutely hilarious that people were slagging him off. Yes, this hasn't been his best season in a West Ham shirt, but if this is a bad season, then what a player. What a serious player. It is just hilarious to me that people were slagging him off for no good reason. He just applies himself. Yes, you're not going to be a 9 or 10 out of 10, even an 8 out of 10 every single game when you've been at a club for 6 years. You can't expect excellence every single game. He's set himself such high standards that if he has 2 or 3 average okay games, then people start pointing fingers at him. He's just, you can never question his application, his desire. He will always give 150%. So in that respect, I don't get how you can ever have a bad word to say to him. Even if his quality on the day isn't unbelievable, you know that it will be the next game or the game after. Hilarious that he's even getting abuse from some people, but he shut that up today. He absolutely shut that up. He was fantastic. Took his first goal really well, took the penalty really well. He just controlled the game at times as well. Fantastic footballer, fantastic performance. One thing that I don't think is talked about enough is our recruitment. Our recruitment was fantastic in January. The 3 players that we brought in, or there was 4, but the 3 main guys, Taty, Pablo, Disasi, all unbelievable signings. And it's not necessarily how good they are technically or how good they are in their own positions. Like Disasi has come in and almost transformed our defence, don't get me wrong. He has been unbelievable. And Taty, again, has been so good going forward. But it's more the mentality. All 3 of them, you can tell, are just buying in to what is happening. All 3 of them. They will apply themselves so much in every single game. They look like they actually care. You look at a team like Tottenham, so many of their players don't look like they care. So many of them. We've managed to get 3 players in that genuinely are buying into it and looking like they care. The recruitment has been fantastic because these 3 players have been unbelievable since coming in, and I can't wait to see more of Pablo now that he's back fit as well. I mean, you could see it with Disasi from right at the end, the last kick of the game in the 120th minute, when he made that block and celebrated like he'd won something, celebrated like he'd scored a goal. That is exactly what you want to see, and he's a loan player. I really hope we can get him in the summer on a permanent deal. The one maybe negative thing from tonight is Summerville did look like he picked up an injury. Obviously he carried on, but barely. He was just limping around. He wasn't really doing a lot. Hopefully that's not serious, because that could be a problem if it is. But onto the penalty shootout. I thought all of our penalties were unbelievable. I don't know when we got so good at penalties. A few of them were like carbon copies of each other. Mavropanos' was the best of the lot. Nobody is saving that. Nobody's getting up there into that corner. I thought Taty's was interesting. He just blasted it to the underside of the crossbar. Callum Wilson's was brilliant. You're not saving that. Even all of them. All the penalties were really, really good. Really difficult to save. And to be honest, the Brentford penalties weren't bad either, apart from Dango Utara's. You just cannot do that. You cannot do a chip like that. It just doesn't end well. It just makes you look like such an idiot. He must have felt horrendous walking back to the centre circle after having done that. Cannot understand it at all. But nevertheless, we go through. We've got Leeds at home in the next round. It would be quite good to have a decent cup run. I mean, this isn't bad in itself, but we can quite easily get to the semi-finals now. So yeah, good result. Now it's Man City at the weekend, Saturday night. Hoping that we get a Man City that's rotated, because it is in between 2 Real Madrid games for them. So we may get a rotated Man City. Maybe not, they are still going for the title though. But yeah, that's it for this one. If you like the video, make sure you hit like. Make sure you comment what you thought. And I will see you in the next one.